Welcome back to Mona's Take. I am Mona Rose, your host, and we are here to talk about everything reality TV. Most of what I'm going to talk about on this video is what you've already seen and what's happened on the live feeds that you haven't seen before tonight's episode. However, at the end, there will be an HOH update. They just finished that. If you don't want to know who won HOH, I wouldn't suggest that you watch it till the end. I will give another spoiler alert before I go into the HOH competition. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It helps my channel grow, and I appreciate all the love and support. So let's get to it. A quick recap of the show tonight. Misha was HOH. She put up Carson and Cynthia. Shayna won the POV and took down Carson. Misha nominated Chris Kirkpatrick. And on a vote of 5-0, Chris Kirkpatrick was evicted from the game. Not a whole lot went on today, but there were a few things that I did want to talk about. Number one is Todd Bridgers. That man has a temper, and he is loud. He sat there and tried to say that Cynthia walked up on him. We saw tonight, Cynthia didn't walk up on him. He walked up on Cynthia. And that is wrong in anybody's book. You don't walk up on a female like that. I've lost every bit of respect I had for that man. Not that my opinion matters, but it is what it is. But I love the fact that Carson checked him on it. Because he was in the bathroom and he was going on and on about how she started it and it was her fault and she stepped up on him and attacked him. And Carson said, no, she didn't. She said, you came at her. And he said, and that's never okay to step up on a woman like that. And Todd complained still that it was her fault or whatever. And Carson said, can you not see how that might have made her feel threatened? That's just not right, Todd. So I wanted to see what happened because as soon as that happened, they cut the live feeds. They didn't show any of that on the live feeds. So I was curious for myself to see exactly what did happen because I could hear them, but I couldn't see them. Todrick and Chris had a talk this morning, and Todrick lit into Chris. He gaslighted him, I don't even know for how long, and he didn't even give him a chance to speak. He just went on and on about how he's always had his back and Chris turned his back on him and so on and so forth, and just kept beating the dead horse and said the same thing that he says to everybody in the house. Just wait till you get out and you'll see on the footage that I never talked bad about you and that I wasn't coming after you. No, Todrick, what these people are going to see when they get out of that house is how bad you mouthed them. He has talked bad about everybody in that house at one time or another except for Misha. So I cannot wait for these people to get out of this house and see how he's run them down. I can't stand a liar. And yes, I know it's Big Brother. That's part of Big Brother. But don't be holier than thou. Don't act like you're God's gift to this game when you're not. Shayna and Chris Kirkpatrick have showed more of the old style Big Brother game the 2 weeks they've been in this house than we've seen in a long time. It's become predictable. Even if you don't watch the live feeds, it's become predictable. What Shayna and Chris did, that shook up the house. That's what they needed. Todrick goes on to tell him while he's chastising him that he needs to be concerned about how the outside people perceive him if he wants to get out of this house and have any kind of career or anything when he gets out. He needs to worry about what the public thinks about him inside this house. And about the time that Chris went to speak, after 30 minutes literally of Todrick berating him, as soon as Chris went to speak, they cut the feeds. They did not allow us to see what Chris said. They brought the feeds back up right as Chris said, man, you can't say that. And Todrick said, I just did, and walked out. And he goes on to Misha, and he's telling Misha, what all did you hear? Because Misha had her ear up to the door for some of it. And she said, I only heard a few minutes because they called me into the diary room. And he said, I wish you could have heard. I wish you could have heard how I lit into him. And Todrick said something to him about his reputation and his child. Yeah. He went there. You don't bring people's children into this. If Todrick was high and mighty and was actually playing an honest game and a respectable game, that's one thing. But when you're lying through your teeth with every breath you take, you have the audacity to ask a man how his son is going to feel? I'm sorry. I'm fired up. That was ridiculous. Totally uncalled for. And I'm mad that CBS keeps cutting the feeds and doesn't let us hear the rest of the conversation. And they didn't show it tonight. Todrick tells him that he's the only one that's been looking out for him this whole time. Nobody else in the house is looking out for Chris. Todrick's been looking out for him since day one. And then, the kicker. Then he says that he is the only POC in the house that's fighting to stay there. One sleeps all day, one farts all day, and the other one is Switzerland and baking all day. I find that highly offensive. I don't know why everybody else doesn't. You're all about POC, but you just ran every one of them down. Just talk bad about every single one of them. It's ridiculous. Todrick says that Chris turned his back on him. Oh, I had your back. You're the one that turned your back on me. I wasn't coming after you. Well, be damned, he was coming after him. I'm sorry, but that fires me up because I see him saying the same thing to every single person in the house. He just changes the verbiage a little bit. He's the only one in that house that's had everybody's back in that house. Watch the tapes, you'll see. No, they won't see Todrick. They won't see. I am so irritated with that man. I hope that somebody else pulls out on HOH on this. And I hope his ass is on the block. Right along with Misha. Those two have sat and said the nastiest things about the other house guests. And I'm talking some nasty stuff that just is beyond me. And I'm not even going to repeat it because it's ugly. So Todd and Misha go up to the workout room so that they can talk. And Misha tells Todrick that Shayna has nothing else to rely on except snaking her way through the game and looking hot so that Lamar may potentially vote for her. Dave said all kinds of things. Misha is pissed that she used that POV. I think it was good gameplay. I enjoyed it as a viewer watching the house get shook up. That's what it's all about. And we haven't seen that on Big Brother for a long time. So it was refreshing. And then the kicker. Chris is in the bathroom talking to Shayna. And he's upset. Because he feels like he let Todrick down because he believed other people in the house when they told him that Todrick was after him. And I think he's lost his damn mind because he told Shayna to work with him. If I were Shayna, there is no way in hell I would ever consider working with him. Ever. But he harped on Chris so bad that he made Chris believe that Chris was the one that turned first. And now he feels guilty. It's just unbelievable. Todrick is seen telling Misha that he hopes that the finale is on a Zoom and that they don't actually all have to get together because if he never saw Chris Kirkpatrick again in his life, it would be too soon. It ain't gonna be in no Zoom meeting. You're gonna be live. Alright guys, this is the spoiler part of the video. If you do not want to know who won HOH, you can stop the video here. Leave me a comment in the section and tell me what you think about Shayna's gameplay, what you think about Todrick and Misha's gameplay, who you want to see win, who you would like to see win HOH, who you would like to go up on the block. Leave them in the comments below before you head out. Alright guys, I'm going to give you a few seconds to cut the feed if you don't want to know who the HOH winner is. Alright. Again, I'm going to apologize. I get heated when I watch Big Brother. And I don't know how I would play if I was in that house. I honestly don't. But I hate to see someone win it that is all over that house up everyone's ass. Pick a side, pick a team, pick a person. But you can't be for everybody. And you can't tell everyone the same thing that you're for them. And that you want to work with them. Now that Todrick knew that Misha wasn't going to be able to compete in the HOH competition, he was all up Shayna's butt because he thought Shayna was going to win it. So, first of all, the HOH competition. I ain't never seen handles that big on a wall. You know, usually they have the rock climbing, little rock things, turn upside down, and that's what they hold on to, and it's up against the wall, so they're like this. This was like an actor's chair, like actually had arms that came way out, and they could hold on to it. Maybe they're, you know, I don't know, a little older, they're not used to playing that kind of stuff, and so they give them a little bit of an advantage. I'm not sure, but it looked as if it was intended to make the game last longer. And if Big Brother would quit cutting the damn feeds on them, they would be on for a few minutes and then they cut them off. And then they'd be on, then they'd be off. They were supposed to be on live so we could see the game play out. Which I did, but it was irritating to keep getting them cut on and off. So, first person out was Lamar. Second person out was Cynthia. Third person out was Todd. Fourth out was Shayna. So it was down to Todrick and Carson. And our new HOH. Yes, I am smiling ear to ear and I am happy, happy, happy. Carson is our new HOH. I cannot wait to see this house get shook up. So I'm going to get off here. I'm going to edit this video. I'm going to get it back on. And then I'm going back to the live feeds. As always, you guys have a great night and much love.